Hello, dear friends of Moments with Pastor Funke. It's a new week, and it's a great pleasure to bring you another exciting episode of our weekly inspirational messages. I've titled this one with God is Majority. Trust you're greatly blessed by it. Honestly, there have been times in my life when I've gone through tough situations and I felt inadequate, weak, and even isolated. At such stormy periods, it's easy for one to be overwhelmed with forces working against our interests and even our lives. David, one time shepherd boy and later king of Israel, had such moments in his life as well. Listen to what he wrote in Psalm 59, verses 1 and 2. Deliver me from mine enemies, O my God. Defend me from them that rise up against me. Deliver me from the workers of iniquity and save me from bloody men. David had good reasons to pray this prayer, friends. Saul, who was king of Israel at the time, was envious of David and wanted him dead. By the time David wrote this psalm, he had been on the run from Saul. For years after this time, David pretty much lived in caves along with a bunch of men that took refuge with him. Friend, perhaps right now you too may be going through some situations in life and you feel alone, isolated, and fearful. I have some very good news for you. During one of those times when David was hiding, God was at work for him. Let's read from 1 Samuel 24 verses 1 to 3. It says, after Saul returned from pursuing the Philistines, he was told, David is in the desert of En-Gedi. So Saul took 3,000 able young men from all Israel and set out to look for David and his men near the crags of the wild goats. He came to the sheep pens along the way. A cave was there, and Saul went in to relieve himself. David and his men were far back in the cave. Friends, something in these verses caught my attention. First, Saul the king was going to look for one man, David, who had about 600 or so men with him at that time. And he took along 3,000 chosen men. That means these men were able soldiers. 3,000. What? Saul must have thought he had David cornered and there was no way of escape for him. He had superior intelligence about David's whereabouts, didn't he? Well, his intelligence was good, but was no match for God's power and wisdom. You see, friends, God ordered Saul into the exact cave where David and his men were already hiding. And Saul had a slight inconvenience because he needed to use the bathroom. So all his soldiers had to stay outside the cave. David, the hunted, could easily have become the hunter, but for the Spirit of God in him. God turned the situation around and actually put Saul at David's mercy. And he can do the same for you. Friends, whenever you feel isolated, weak, and overpowered by forces beyond your control, remember that with God on your side, you're in the majority, and soon the situation will change in your favor. God's awesome power is no match for any force in heaven or on earth, and He can change the circumstances in your favor in no time at all. With Saul's 3,000 soldiers, David could easily have killed him. My dear friend, never depend on your power or understanding. Depend only on God and trust Him to give you the victory. Thank you, our dear friends, for being part of this episode. If this has blessed you, will you like it, share it, and also drop me a comment? And if you're not following me on YouTube, I'd appreciate that you subscribe to my channel and also hit the notification button. Until next week when we come your way again, may God bless and be with you all. And may He keep you strong and totally safe. I'm your host, Pastor Funke. Bye for now.